everyone. Welcome to ShockCast, episode 203. Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds like a nice, solid number. I'm your host, George Jimenez. Joining me today, Mr. Ryan Meisler. How are you?
George, I am your father.
That is not continuity.
That's not canon. Is it the ShockCast expanded universe that we're talking about now? So.
Expanded universe does not count. Kotar, nope. We don't give a crap. Nope, doesn't matter.
We have a Jedi child with a beard, and
canon is whatever you want it to be. Hi, we're both staff writers from DualShockers.com, and this is our silly podcast where we talk about video games and occasionally other nonsense. Ryan, some video games happened while we were away. Explain that to me.
Games happened other than Star Wars Battlefront, which we'll be talking about later, of course. But anyway, so for new releases from this week, from April 19th to April 26th, 2015, we have Shovel Knight for PS4, PS3, and PlayStation Vita, which I happened to pick up yesterday, so I'm happy about that one. Assassin's Creed Chronicles China for Xbox One, PC, and PS4. This is a Japanese one. Sayonara Umahara Kawase Plus for PlayStation Vita. Oh, every week there's always that one Japanese game I can never pronounce.
Nailed it.
Ziggurat for PS4, LA Cops for PS4, or La Cops, however you decide to see it.
It's a French game.
La Cops. Oddworld. I should want to point out the box art for this game is a cup of coffee, a donut, a police badge, and a gun, and it just says LA Cops on it. It's too perfect. So anyway, Oddworld New and Tasty for PS3, Shooting Love 200X for Xbox. I think it's either Xbox One or Xbox 360. I don't know specifically. Joy Joy for Ouya. There's still games that come out for Ouya, apparently. Infinity Runner for PS4 and Xbox One. Mario Kart DS for Wii U. Forgotten Memories, Alternate Realities for iPad. Dungeons 2 for PC. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse for PC. And then for next week, because there are not a lot of new big releases, next week for April 26th to May 3rd, we have Shadowrun Chronicles, Boston Lockdown. I'm assuming it's DLC for Shadowrun. State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition for Xbox One and PC, Omega Quintet for PS4, Broken Age for PS4 and PlayStation Vita, Project Root for PS Vita, PS4 and Xbox One, Sketchcross for PS Vita, and Paper Mario for Wii U.
I want to go with State of Decay on the Xbox One because I really like that game, but I think I'm really going to go with... I'm going to stick with State of Decay. I like zombies. How about you, Ryan?
I'm going to go with Shovel Knight. I picked it up because I didn't get to play it last year when it first came out. Last year was only on like PC, Mac, and Wii U. Now, this week it's on all the PlayStation platforms, and then next week it's also going to be on the Xbox One, I think specifically. So I'm looking forward to playing it. That's what I feel like a lot of people have really said is pretty fantastic. So I'm excited to play it. Plus, I get to fight Kratos. So Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, and if you get it on Xbox One, you get the Battletoads. So,
ooh, neat. Yeah, that game was like one of those. It was on my back burner like all of last year, and just never got around to it. So now that it's on one of the consoles that I'm actively playing, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. But Ryan, some big things happened this week. If you are a fan of just Star Wars and Batman and Fantastic Four,
you mean like Han Solo behind you?
Yes, Han is excited. That is a young Han Solo because the trailer showed that is a weathered Han Solo going on the Force Awakens trailer.
I still don't know how I feel about that. I mean, as excited as I was, I think the takeaway when I saw that was, ooh, Harrison Ford does not look good. I was like, it's like
yeah, when he's like, we're home, Chewie, and I'm just like, oh.
He just looks like he's tired more than anything. But I was like, he looks like he's 100 years old, and Chewie hasn't aged like a day, which was like
how long in space, Han? Good lord!
Yeah.
But yeah, the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer was out, and it looked amazing. And we were also treated to the Wild Yaris has appeared.
Wild Yaris has appeared.
Wild Yaris.
Get the Master Ball.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
I sincerely apologize, everybody. My son is quite a little character. It took longer than expected to put him down, so.
It's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, editor-in-chief of DualShockers.com, Mr. Yaris Gutierrez. Welcome to the ShockCast.
Thank you. Happy to be here, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. You came in at the most opportune time. We were just talking about the Star Wars trailer and how insanely awesome it was, and how old Han Solo was. So, how do you feel about Han Solo aging?
It's actually quite sad, to be honest with you. I mean, he is Han Solo, so. But I won't lie, I'm probably the biggest Star Wars fan you'll probably run into. But I watched the trailer like 40 times, and I have my own little theories about the trailer itself. But I'll reserve that so I won't spoil anything.
Who's the Sith? Was it Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren. Yeah, Kylo Ren.
Who's Kylo Ren? Who is he?
Nobody really knows necessarily. I mean, it's a lot of theory behind him being a Sith artifact collector. If you notice in the beginning of the second trailer, you see Darth Vader's helmet, and some people are speculating. Well, you can actually see there's a little pedestal back there that he's pretty much picking it up from the pedestal itself. So a lot of the artifacts that are being collected are Sith artifacts apparently from him. So he's pretty much like a Sith fan, like a hardcore Sith fan, and
he's a Sith. He's every Star Wars fanboy, and
pretty much, except he's Sith. But from my understanding, though, he's not the. I mean, he is the bad guy, but he's not the bad guy. So he's not the Sith Lord per se.
Right. He's the Darth Maul. Of
is he gonna? Is he gonna take off the mask? It's just gonna be Darth Maul again, and everyone's gonna be like,
Still alive.
I'd be happy if it was more Galen from The Force Unleashed, but that's highly unlikely.
Sure, please, no. I want to see some Ahsoka Tano. That's what I want.
Yeah, Disney got rid of the expanded universe. Doesn't count anymore. So.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I think anything after Return of the Jedi, I think they got rid of.
Anything in the books, I think. Most of the the book stuff they got rid of.
Yeah.
We don't need any of this.
I think minus the Old Republic stuff. I think that still holds true. For example, like the Star Wars. I know for a fact the Star Wars Clone Wars series. That's actually still a part of the storyline. But anything after Return of the Jedi has pretty much been put in the shitter. So, all you fans, well, I'm actually kind of happy to hear that because they kind of overpowered the hell out of Luke. He was like a god, pretty much. Yeah, this guy like force push or did something to an entire army, and pretty much blew them all away. So.
Oh yes, the expanded universe. I love going to those Wikipedia rabbit holes of just going deep and learning about like Jaden Solo, and I'm like, this is all really bad. Wow. But most importantly, out of this whole big Star Wars announcement was we saw Star Wars Battlefront, the trailer of what they claim to be in-game engine footage, which I call probably bullshit. But man, that made my butt tingle when I saw just the little speeders and X-wings and.
I believe it's in game, but definitely not gameplay. Like that is not gameplay at all.
I mean, even if it is gameplay, it'd have to be on PC, high settings kind of things. I'm not saying it's on that you can't do it on PS4, but I sincerely doubt it. It's just a marketing ploy.
I would feel like it's something like The Order, where it's like really, really nice looking in-game cutscenes that then they kind of transition into gameplay. Like at the very most, I feel like it would be like that, but
without the letterboxing.
Yeah, without the letterboxing.
And I hate how like every ShockCast we always come back to like how disappointed we were in The Order, and like, oh man, that letterboxing drove me nuts, and people are like,
I was okay with it in The Order. It drove me nuts in The Evil Within. Like that's where I preferred it way more in The Order. I feel like because there wasn't as much stuff as like you had to look around in The Order as you did with Evil Within, so it didn't really bother me as much. But yeah.
Yeah, but the letterboxing, the explanation was, oh no, it's for cinematic purposes. Like, no, this is for technical purposes. Meaning, if this game was not letterbox,
this game would not pass.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, because we found that out in The Evil Within when they modded out the letterboxing. It's like, oh yeah, this game doesn't work. Sorry.
I tried it. Yeah, when they added that to Evil Within, I tried that, and the game ran like 5 times slower than it did before. So I had to just, all right, I'll keep it on. So.
Wow, I haven't tried that. Something I need to try. I've actually played The Evil Within. Haven't played The Order yet. I'm kind of in the middle of playing The Order. I have quite a backlog of games.
Yeah, it's quite a mediocre 6 hours of gameplay. But but back to Star Wars. No, a couple of things. No space battles. They've announced everything is on some sort of Terra on a planet. So it's not like that old that I think Battlefront 3 when it was canceled, they showed a bunch of footage of like, oh, you're leaving a hang. The one that got canceled by Pandemic Games.
Battlefront 2 had standalone space battles in it.
Yeah, but that was the one where you can go from spaceship to spaceship, right? And then there's nonsense in the middle where you got to take over. You got to board each other's ships.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that won't be there. So sorry. But it's like I get kind of flustered when I talk about Star Wars. That's how excited I was with those stupid trailers.
It was a good week to be a Star Wars fan last week because there was so much nice stuff happening.
It was kind of a good week to be like a fan of just kind of everything. Because when the Batman vs Superman trailer came out, I'm like, oh,
and
I was like, oh,
and it landed with a thud.
I liked it. It looks like a very Zack Snyder movie.
Well, I mean, I think they released it at a wrong time. I mean, when you release it right next to Star Wars trailer being released, people are going to be like, oh, okay, it's Batman vs Superman. But then you see Star Wars and like, oh my gosh, Han Solo, wrinkled chin, wrinkled neck, gray hair, what's happening?
Yeah, I think if they released it like maybe a couple weeks from now, it would have been okay. But like launch it 2 days after Star Wars or however was probably not the best move. But
yeah, we're in agreement that they're so killing off Han Solo in that movie. I just don't see Harrison Ford coming back for.
Well, they're going to kill him off, or he's going to kill himself off. One of those two is going to happen. I mean, this guy's prone to accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's too busy flying airplanes. I'm like, dude, I'm like, does he think he's Han Solo? That he's actually like flying different aircraft into just fields and stuff? I'm like, dude.
I'd do it if I was him.
Like, we can't. Yeah, but we can't lose you, Han.
Yeah, I mean, not to go into a tangent, but I mean, there's again a lot of people speculating stuff with what happens to Han Solo. But again, no, I don't want to jump into that.
But yeah, but yeah, Star Wars Battlefront. There's first and third person cameras. It's made by DICE, so this in lieu of having an actual Battlefield game that's good, we're going to have a Battlefront game with Star Wars people on it, which I'm really a fan of.
I'm excited. Yeah, and they said no single player campaign. It'll just be pretty much multiplayer only.
Yeah.
And 40 players sounds pretty cool. So.
Yeah, and then also it's going to tie into some things in the movie. So in The Force Awakens, you saw that big Star Destroyer in the sand.
Yeah.
And apparently you will play a stage in Battlefront that explains how that particular Star Destroyer ended up.
Really?
Not. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's there. So I'm like, I like those small little tie-ins. I think.
Well, I know they said there will be that DLC map that takes place on Jakku, the new planet that was in the trailer. Like the Tatooine-looking planet, but that's not Tatooine apparently. So yeah, that'd be cool. And I'm sure because it's releasing right before, about a month before Force Awakens comes out, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of cool stuff like that they'll throw in.
But yeah, and then Giuseppe wrote an interesting editorial about like, fine, if we can't have space battles, just give us another X-wing versus TIE fighter, and I was totally on board with that.
Honestly,
I want a new Rogue Squadron. Like that's all I care about. Just give me
if we're talking Star Wars games here, guys, I definitely lean towards more of a Knights of the Old Republic 3. Just my personal preference.
You know what? I would go with you, Yar. So we just got the MMO, so I feel like the Knights of the Old Republic name, they might stay away from that for a while. I don't think it performed as well as it wanted to. So it's like let's let Knights of the Old Republic sit for a bit.
I kind of feel like Old Republic basically was like Knights of the Old Republic 3. So, but I mean, well, there's also the Amy Hennig game that they're working on as well, like the adventure game. I don't really know much about it, but.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're doing something with some of the assets from Star Wars 1313, and it becomes kind of like.
I'm so mad they canceled that game.
I'm sure that will come back in one way, shape, or form.
I kind of feel like
this will be her Uncharted, but it's Uncharted with Star Wars people.
That's kind of what I feel like this game probably will be. Is kind of like the bones of 1313, just kind of shifted into something else. So that which that would be totally awesome if they did, because 1313 looked really cool. I was disappointed that they got rid of it. But man, like I'm sorry, but like Rogue Squadron was like my favorite Star Wars game ever, and I would kill for a new one because it would look. I mean, basically Battlefront's gonna be like a Rogue Squadron-esque game, but like I would just love like that type of game where it's just space battles and just vehicle like spaceship focused. It'll be so much fun.
Well, maybe it'll go with the maybe it'll coincide with the release of the Rogue One, that standalone Star Wars movie.
George, don't make me cry. I'd be so sad.
Man,
God.
I saw that. I'm like, is this gonna be like a Top Gun but Star Wars? I'm like,
That'd be pretty awesome.
I'd be okay with that. That'd be awesome. So
is everyone okay with a Star Wars Masters of Tarakasi sequel? Maybe it's just another bad Star Wars fighting game.
that's a deep cut.
Wasn't that for PlayStation?
Yeah, that was an original PlayStation one.
Gosh, that was horrible.
The only thing that would make me happier is if they brought back Star Wars Racer and they did another pod racing game. That'd be awesome too. Because Star Wars Racer was an awesome game. That was a fun one.
You know, as much as people hated the game, I kind of liked the Force Unleashed. I mean, it wasn't the best game I've ever played, but it was a decent game. I mean, I want to see more. I want to engage in more lightsaber fights. I'm a huge lightsaber fan, so you can make a game that has more lightsabers. I'd be pretty happy. Even a Jedi Outcast sequel.
Oh man, just bring back Kyle Katarn, man. He's a boss.
Katarn is
Yeah, I mean there have been some pretty bad Star Wars games, but there have also been some really, really good ones too.
Oh yeah, I mean for every good Star Wars game, there was literally 30 bad ones.
Yeah.
that's
pretty
accurate.
Much.
Like if you go to the Apple Store right now and just type in Star Wars, there's literally 30, 40 Star Wars games on there that are just like card collectible games. There's that dumb that Clash of Clans type Star Wars game, though. I think it's called Force Commander or Battalion Commander or something.
I think it's Force Commander.
It's Star Wars. It's Star Wars Commander. I think it's
Commander. That's what it is. Yeah, it's on the Windows Store too.
Yeah, and that's an energy-based game where it's just like, and you know, Star Wars is one of those franchises.
It's like Clash of Clans or like something like that, basically.
Yeah, Star Wars has that thing where just if you put something with the Star Wars branding on it, it'll sell 1 billion copies regardless.
Jorge, hold on, George. I mean, where did you get that Han Solo?
Are you just tuning in now? That's
yes.
That was my housewarming gift. Yaris, you've been away. We've not caught up in each other's lives at all. So I recently moved in with my girlfriend, and this was my gift to her because she's a big Star Wars fan.
Is she?
We got each other apartment gifts for each other. So I got her a Star Wars standee, something
that's
I
badass.
enjoy as much as
awesome.
So that's a gift to him to Kelsey. So you know, I was like,
yeah. Exactly. And yeah, so that's him. Yeah, he keeps.
Well, I'm pretty jealous. I can't have that in my house. My wife will probably burn it, and
yeah, you know what? We had a housewarming party recently, and a lot of my guy friends were like, "Oh, you lucky son of a."
Yeah, you are lucky. You're lucky. Your wife loves Star Wars. My wife, she tolerates it.
Well, it's a girlfriend, so don't get ahead of yourself.
Still, it's a good start.
Shit just got real. But
come on, George's wedding with Kelsey is gonna be like the end sequence of A New Hope, where it's the big award ceremony, and then they're gonna come dressed in as Chewie, Han, and everyone, and someone will come in and put the medals on them and everything.
That'd be awesome.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. It'll be like Return of the Jedi. It'll have the big Ewok song at the very end that that they'll dance to. So.
We're playing drums on those stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It'll be like that.
Be so good.
I prefer the Naboo party.
The Naboo party. That's gonna be the name of this podcast, just the Naboo party. But yeah, I'm actually looking through the. I don't know why I'm fascinated with Masters of Tarakasi. I don't know. It's got the two little indents on the A, the little things above the A. So I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. I think that's right. So.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the characters that you can play, and yeah, they got like Luke, Darth Vader, Han Solo, Chewbacca, but then they also have Thok, a Gamorrean guard, and Hor, a Tusken Raider.
Interesting. Yeah, that was a senseless game. I remember playing the demo. I actually thought it looked pretty awesome because it was PlayStation, but yeah, I remember playing it and being very disappointed.
Oh man!
My gosh, that's ages ago, George. I mean. I'm 31 now, so probably 14 when the game came out.
Yeah, I was a kid too when that came out, and I was like, "This is amazing," and not realizing how there's a certain age where you just don't realize how bad games are because it's just like, you know what, I have no money. Like the $50 I could scrounge up to buy this game. This game's gonna last me all summer because that's all I can afford.
George,
But man, when in hindsight, you're like, oh, this terrible life decision.
This game came out 17 years ago, guys. 17 years ago.
Yeah, I was 12.
My gosh.
I was 8.
Not born yet.
I was 8 years old. Okay. I remember when I was younger, there was a PlayStation game that came out right around when Phantom Menace came out. And
Yes.
it was like a straight, and it was a terrible game.
That the action adventure one where you can like go into town and you didn't have enough credits, right? You had to go earn credits to leave Naboo or something. No, to leave Tatooine, you needed credits because we don't take Republic credits here, Qui-Gon Jinn.
I think I could never get off Naboo, like the first time you go up to Naboo, but that game, like I thought it was amazing as a kid, but I think I played it like a year ago and it was terrible and I regretted it. And I was
Well, it's the absolute worst. But I think a more recently bad Star Wars game was the Kinect Star Wars. You guys remember that? Did you guys have that?
Yeah,
the luxury of playing that.
I've seen it. I've heard about it. I did not want to touch it.
I always the one Star Wars game that I think I've always wanted to get was the there was the one arcade one. It was by Sega where you had like a joystick and you would do like there was like a Hoth level and the Death Star.
I think Star Wars Trilogy. I think the arcade.
Yeah, I think Star Wars Trilogy. Yeah. I would like. I don't care how much it would cost. I would love to get one of those cabinets and just have it like in my house. It'd be awesome.
Well, at Comic-Con they had the Star Wars Battle Pod.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. You climb into a literal pod, and it shakes and it vibrates and it does all that, and it looked really good. Like I forget that there's still places that arcade games exist and like arcade cabinets because they're so like not in my universe anymore. But man, if I knew where a Star Wars Battle Pod was, I would probably be there every other weekend and just dumping.
Just play it. Yeah.
And using all the quarters I meant to use for laundry, just playing Star Wars Battle Pod, so I can like put my I can put like the leaderboard on there.
So you would just have dirty clothes for like a month, but it'll be worth it. So
just buy new clothes, Ryan.
Yeah,
I'm a boss. Just buy new clothes. But yeah, so I think it's fair to say that we are excited about Battlefront. Yay! Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. I mean, once they showed Darth Vader whipping out his lightsaber, I literally got off from my office chair at work and applauded. Slow clapped.
I'm excited for it. I mean, they haven't shown a lot of what the actual game is going to look like.
Yeah,
but I'm sure E3 that's going to be their big game easily. Like out of everything they have, that's going to be the biggest one.
I'm hoping it's playable on the floor. Like I want 40 stations so people can try like 40 on 40, 20 on 20 combat or something like.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Because that's going to be the right way to show that game off in like the wild. You need to get people in a match. It makes me wonder because Darth Vader was in the teaser. If they're going to have that element of like when you do well enough, you can kind of now you're Yoda or now you're Darth Vader.
Yeah, well, because they also showed Boba Fett, so they're definitely bringing back the heroes characters again. So
yay, Boba Fett! I'm not a Fett guy.
What? That's blasphemy. Okay, George.
Fett,
okay.
The worst bounty hunter. Boba Fett is one of those people that has he's got a cool backstory, a cool look, but his appearances in the movies were kind of like,
he also fell into a giant hole with teeth, and died. So
a plant hole. He fell down a plant hole. All right.
You mean kind of like Darth Maul in Episode 1, who was supposed to be the most badass Sith ever, but he did the stupidest mistake you can do is jump over a Jedi.
He lost to Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan jumped over him, and he decided not to throw his lightsaber in the air. He's an idiot. Yeah. He deserved to die.
Star Wars is great about making badasses who really just are not that great.
Yeah, Obi-Wan did the same trick on Anakin, and look how that worked. So
yeah, Anakin pretty much lost a leg and the arm.
The Anakin. But god damn it, Anakin.
He had the higher ground, so.
Yeah, he did, and they've really stressed that. I'm like, this is a game with space, a movie with space wizards, and really now we're gonna get really tactical. Be like, no, I have the higher ground. You can't beat me. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. That made me appreciate Darth Vader less watching.
All right, Anakin. Look, before I go on for an hour about how terrible Revenge of the Sith is, let's move on because I'm gonna get so mad and leave after this. So.
Well, yeah, who knew the greatest Sith Lord was actually just an angry teenager?
It's not worse than the first movie. Folks.
No, I'm sorry, but I would easily watch Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones over Revenge of the Sith any day. Revenge of the Sith was
Ryan. Okay. Now I know you're trolling. I'm
serious.
Because Ryan was 13, and that was his first Star Wars movie. So of course he's excited about
Ryan, stop with the bullshit, Ryan. Okay.
No, I'm dead serious.
That little kid, that little Anakin in episode 1, I wanted to strangle him.
That's a wizard! And then they spent 40 minutes pod racing. What the f?
And I wanted to strangle Darth Vader when he yelled no for 3 minutes in the most awkward, like, stupid fashion possible. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's like I said before we go off to a tangent on here. You can't really blame the actors. You have to blame the director, and that was George Lucas.
He didn't have to go no over and over. He could have done it a different way. Like
he put in the script. He directs the actors what to do and what to say.
My God.
You know what? In the end, I blame us.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Well, hopefully JJ remedies our Star Wars woes with
I have faith.
Force Awakens.
He could be the chosen one. I have faith.
All right, so I guess are we done talking about Star Wars?
Yes, I'm done.
We're never done about talking about Star Wars.
I know.
Let's move on.
I mean,
let's move on. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Mr. Yaris,
Sir.
My favorite citizen out of Utah.
Gosh.
next to Carmelo.
Don't say that too loud.
And Mormons.
And more. No.
Damn.
Yaris.
Nope. Let's not even touch that. Let's not even touch that. That bit there.
So Yaris, being editor-in-chief of DualShockers.com, a video game site about video games, we went through a new site design. There's some changes. If you go to DualShockers right now, if I go right now to DualShockers, you will be snow-blinded with white.
And you will be burning into a bunch of bugs. Yeah.
Do you care to go into what brought on the site design? What was the goal?
Obviously,
what was the intention? Where are we heading? What is the future of DualShockers?
Absolutely,
is it on fire? I mean, should I be worried?
No, absolutely not. I mean, one of the things that I think you see when you go to a lot of gaming sites is that you're pretty much bombarded with content that your eyes don't care to see. Obviously, right now we're going through a transition where we're trying to be a little more minimalist in what we show our readers, but yet provide them with content that they obviously come to the site and enjoy. And by doing that, we've obviously thrown a lot of white on there, and that's because we pretty much wanted the colors or the contrast to be the content itself. And that's what we're steering towards. For example, if you go into the post page, which we're modifying a bit and adding recent posts, you'll see that there are no sidebars, which people are complaining about, which is kind of ironic, but it's because we really don't want to distract the reader from what they're wanting to read, which is the content itself. And it's hard to transition into that or for people to get used to it because they're already used to one specific style of blogging, and that's just seeing a lot of stuff on one page. And we're trying to break the mold and steer away from that, not be the traditional or the stereotypical blog, like, not to throw them under the bus, but because everybody does their own thing, but IGN, you have GameSpot, you have Eurogamer, they just have too much stuff going on at one time, and we really just want the focus to be the content and not everything else.
Yeah, not the ads or anything like that. But yeah,
right, exactly.
Still some kinks being worked out, and of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bugs. I mean, one thing I'm encouraging is community feedback, and obviously staff feedback as well. And it's not to say that we're not going to make changes. We're listening. We're taking every single piece of feedback into consideration and assessing what we can do to change things, make things a little better and easier for people to accept. But the fundamental design itself is not changing too much. But we are going to make some adjustments to how white the site is, for example, and font sizes and things of that nature.
Yeah, and if you're listening, make sure you check out the post. That way, if you have any feedback or comments, definitely there. And we are listening. There are tweaks.
Absolutely.
But it's not as easy as hitting a switch to nicer looking website and then nope, there it is. There's a lot of moving parts in place.
It's a lot of work. I mean, again, it's difficult because you're introducing something that people are not used to. It's kind of like giving a vegetarian meat. They're not gonna like it at first until they try it, and once they get used to it, they'll start liking steak. But
what torture place are you force feeding a vegetarian meat? I'm just curious. What is going on in the household?
My wife.
Just keep eating. I don't care how chewy it is. You'll enjoy it.
It's dry. I made it well done for you to suffer.
Just chew on it for days.
I don't care. I don't care if it's vegetarian bacon. You will like it.
Vegetarian bacon. Yeah, I mean it is a very it's a tedious process transitioning from one design to another because again people are just so used to that one design and change. Human nature change is not always a good thing. People don't accept it very well. Some people embrace it, some people hate it, and it's just pretty much as somebody that has to steer that direction as a leader, I guess you pretty much have to make the right choice of do you stick to your guns or do you listen to community feedback and just do what everybody says. And my response to that is usually Steve Jobs wouldn't be where he was. Not that I'm comparing myself to Steve Jobs, but Apple wouldn't be where it is or where it was by listening to everybody else. They just have to trust their gut and go forward. That's exactly what we're trying to do.
That explains all the white. I see it now. The Steve Jobs comparison, the Apple
gosh.
Your Apple store or website, Yaris. Soon, if there's any trouble, you can reach out to a genius.
I prefer Linux over Apple, folks. Just an FYI.
I'm your genius, Ryan. How can I help you today?
You'd actually look like a Mac genius, Ryan. Actually, you too, George.
Yeah.
George looks like a Dominican Calcatarn. There you go.
Oh man, that made my night. But yeah, if you have any feedback whatsoever, check out the site and leave us a little comment there, and stuff will happen.
Absolutely. Feel free to curse us out. I mean, a lot of people are doing that already. Just give positive feedback. Obviously, like I said, we're making adjustments continuously on the site. We just want to improve the experience for you guys. We're not doing this for us. We're doing this for you. So anything that you feel might benefit the site or make it stand out a little more, look better, read better, throw in the comments. We'll jot it down and we'll talk it over.
Yeah, just give any criticism, just put it in between two compliments. That way, it's like,
there we go. So nobody has butthurt feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
I almost cried yesterday, actually.
I can imagine that. Once something hits over like 1,000 comments, you're like 100 comments, and you're just kind of like, all right, this is all right. You just have to like brace yourself and like, let's see what this is about. And
yeah, I mean, and again, it was some were positive, some were not positive. Yeah. But again, that comes with the territory. You just have to roll with the punches and take it for what it is.
Yeah, criticism is not a bad thing. The idea is just being able to parse through
exactly.
and see what's a valid criticism and what's just someone saying, you changed something
exactly.
that never actually belonged to me.
Exactly.
I'm mad at you.
Spot on, George.
Yeah, it's internet. It's not like your MySpace page where you can just HTML code /black and now it's black. Like no, it's not. I'm gonna assume it's not that easy. But my MySpace page.
It can be. The overall facade itself is actually not too difficult to change per se. It's really more the functionalities. That stuff is a little more tedious. And obviously people are complaining about the menu bar. We don't have
you mean the menu bar no one used? Okay, yeah, sure, we'll put it back.
Well, exactly. There's that, but the reason we went with this design specifically and where we're making alterations is because Google's own markup pretty much encourages that kind of design. So if you do your research, if you Google's actually their own templating engine uses pretty much the same style of design that we're using. So yeah, and a lot of the changes we made were obviously more for mobile again, and not to say that we don't appreciate or cater to our desktop users, but the majority of our readers are coming from mobile devices. So we have to cater to two crowds, and we're trying to adjust it so that PC users are don't have 400 pixels of white space. So we're adjusting the viewport a bit, and again, we're getting stuff situated. So hopefully we'll make everybody happy.
Awesome. There you have it, guys. That was the DualShocker Webmaster update. We should do that. We should carve out a good 5 to 10 minutes of just state of website affairs and
Well, I wouldn't mind doing that.
It's like, Yaris, why isn't the background gray? Make it gray.
Well, we actually are making that change. Just an FYI, it's not a very light dark gray. It's actually very very light gray.
See that,
but
guys?
It complements the white very well. Makes it easier to read. Again, we're making the adjustments you guys are screaming at us for. So.
Okay, so let's run through some headlines. Thank you, Yaris, for that update.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, let's run through some headlines, guys. Rock Band 4. We missed this out because we didn't have a ShockCast last week. But the Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band, they're coming back.
They're making a comeback.
It's 2005 all over again. What happened?
Yeah, this is gonna be very bad for me and Joel and Al. We tend to host Rock Band parties for the site, and then we get belligerent, and everybody else gets belligerent. Try to play instruments like we're pros or not.
Listen, not to brag, but I was number 8 worldwide in Radiohead Creep in the first Rock Band.
Were you really?
For vocals, yes, I killed it on. For a good solid for a solid 2 weeks, I was on there.
Well, George, it looks like I'm going to have to utilize those skills. Actually, I was pretty decent on the guitar. Joel's actually really nice on the drums. Al's really good at watching.
Yeah. Me and my friend's band, the Christian Bales, we killed it, guys.
The Christian.
I'm really excited because I get to dust off my band from Rock Band, which was Sausage Fest. So Sausage Fest will be making a comeback and can shred again. I'll be so happy. So
and there was the band my brother and I did, which he was guitars and I was vocals, and we were mad deep, and that was we stylized and just acoustic vocals.
Mad deep sounds like a really bad porno.
Oh yeah, we went deep there. But yeah, apparently it's being co-published by Mad Catz, those guys who make those really. Does Mad Catz pay for stuff on the site? They're not a sponsor of us, right?
No, they're not.
Okay, yeah, those guys who make those really awful peripherals.
Mad Catz.
I was like,
good thing you asked first, George. Good thing you asked.
They've not given us money, right?
That's
they won't now, but
that's when the website just like tanks because George said something bad about a sponsor.
There goes our servers. We can't pay for that anymore. Well, I mean, I was honest to be honest with you. I was kind of surprised to hear the news, and I kind of wasn't surprised because I kind of knew that they weren't done with the franchise. I think they just needed to take a break, take a step back, and reassess what they needed to change. And obviously, it took them this long. I think. I mean, you can both agree that it was sort of repetitiveness from Rock Band 1 to 3, kind of the same thing with Guitar Hero.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't too much change per se, but from what I understand now, they took it back to the drawing board and pretty much almost, I don't want to say completely reinvented the game, but are introducing a lot of new things that we didn't see in the previous titles.
I'm hoping to see more of the platform of maybe Rock Band 4 and Guitar Hero being like a platform now for music, where it's like just one game, but you have all this content available to you, all these songs that you can just purchase, download, and keep it there, and not worry about like, let me wait till next year for Rock Band 5 or so.
I feel like with Guitar Hero Live, that's going to be more the case. Rock Band, I'm not really sure yet, like whether that's good. Yeah, but I agree that I think that's what they needed to do last generation, and they didn't. Obviously, they kept just releasing new ones every year. But I feel like this time, just release it as a platform, and then just sustain the game through DLC and new song content. Because obviously, like they did very well with they released like 2,500 songs I think for Rock Band on the last generation, which is a ton of songs. That's a lot. So, I think they could easily just release it as a platform and then just sustain it through new song packs, new DLC, like things like that. So.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're going to do as far as like someone like me who bought hundreds of dollars worth of songs. Whether I'm just going to have to say that. I'm going to have to just say, yep, I'm going to have to live with that, or am I going to be able to transfer that?
No, from my understanding, I think you're able to transfer the songs that you previously purchased over to the new games, yeah. I'm pretty sure of it.
They will, yeah. They'll support like the previous DLC songs and stuff that you had, so.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, maybe it's not a bad idea for Mad Catz to kind of help publish the game, because you know what, they're going to be the ones making all the peripherals for probably both. I would imagine. I mean, a guitar will work for both games, right? So
yeah, I think the Mad Catz thing is specifically with Rock Band, but I'm sure because I think both Guitar Hero and Rock Band will be able to support older guitars and peripherals and stuff.
So who does Guitar Hero? Like Pelican, like that other really bad. Wait, I'm sorry. Yars, Pelican does not give us money, right?
Nope.
Okay, yeah. So that Pelican just co-publishes Guitar Hero. I want to see that kind of rivalry. Like, I love that. Like, there's this weird like third-party aftermarket like accessory like battle that happened last generation, which I thought was really cool. Like,
not even that. I feel like more like in the PS2 generation, like that era was more like like I still remember having my. Yeah,
everyone and their mother had a controller. Like ours lights up. Yeah, but ours is a little fan inside, so you can cool your hands when you play.
I remember.
I had that same one for Mad Catz. It was funny because if you had like a younger sibling or whatever, you get into the fights where you want to be player one because you don't want to use the crappy like Mad Catz controller or whatever, basically. So.
Because they're always $15 cheaper than like the DualShockers. The DualShockers is like $50, and I'm like, I don't think that's a game.
Yeah, controllers are madly expensive, so.
Yeah, but most of them are shit, even though they were $15.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheaper. They were really bad. But I mean, nowadays, I think there's sort of an improvement. You can actually just tell between the plastic from PS2 era when Mad Catz made their controllers. That was made out of like I don't even know what the hell it's made out of.
Just this really bad
it's like
this like faux carbon fiber.
Yeah, it was horrible.
When I was moving out, I kind of did like this great purge of just stuff, and it's when you don't move for a while, you accumulate so much garbage and bullshit. Especially when you kind of get into like video games journalism or involved in the industry, you get sent so much crap that it is jarring how much stuff I just threw out. And most of that was going back looking at like different controllers, DualShock 3 controllers, and like colored ones, but like these weird. I had these one that looked like a boomerang. And PC controls. I had a whole tub of just controllers that have been dead. The wireless dongles. I had just a bunch of dongles. I had no idea what they belonged to. That was, oh man.
Probably your Rock Band accessories.
Oh man. Oh, my garage was a plastic instrument graveyard with just the drum kits, and I remember Red Octane did this like wireless drum kit, and then I think I reviewed, what was that? There was band. Something Revolution. I forget what it was.
Rocksmith or Guitar Revolution, I think might have been what it was.
No,
like
it was a band one because they had their own drum kit. That was why that. I think it had like a double bass pedal and everything, and it was just like, no, this is the real drum kit. Like you're not a fake musician until you get this fake drum kit. And, it's just like, oh. So I can't wait for that again. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna bring back some nostalgic memories for sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure me and Joel are gonna be going crazy with it.
So Yaris, and it's funny because we talk about like storage for this garbage. Now that you're a homeowner, are you more wary about like bringing weird crap to your home now? Because like you said, you would not be allowed to have a Han Solo standee. So like,
it's not that I wouldn't be allowed. I'm a little more conscientious of my. Well, the thing is, it's not to discourage anybody. Yeah, being married, and having a kid. I mean, you have to make compromises for sure. I mean, it's kind of, I hate, not that I hate coming home and seeing it, but sometimes you sigh when you see your son playing with your $60 DualShock controller, and you're like, okay. He's there biting it. The rubber's completely gone, and my dog's chewing the controller too. So you're very much more aware and appreciative of what how you spend your money. But it's not to say that I don't have a bunch of nice little toys. I obviously do. I'm a gamer first and foremost, so I collect as much as I can. But
I'm just saying the Guitar Hero drum set. Is that something that you would actually be feasibly able to keep?
Absolutely. I have an attic for a reason, so. And my son can't climb. He can't climb ladders, so I'm pretty good. So yeah, not yet. Yeah, not yet. When he turns like 4 or 5. No, yeah. I'm definitely getting the drum kit, and I'm definitely getting the guitars and bass, and I'm gonna have the whole 9. Absolutely, that's not gonna stop me. Again, gamer first and foremost. So,
gamer first, husband second.
Absolutely, she knows that. Father at 5th. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh man, that kid's gonna be a Star Wars fan, I guess, right?
Oh, not to mention that I've been actually watching all 6 movies with my son, probably every other week.
Just subliminally, just slowly see if we can do subconscious.
In a row, just six like straight.
Well, no, 9 in a row, because obviously I get home from work pretty late, so it's usually the weekends that I meet him, like when we have our time together. I'll sit on the floor, play with him, and just throw Star Wars in as background noise, and he sits there sometimes and watches it. So I'm trying to get him accustomed to it, just so that he becomes a Star Wars geek like me. So. Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of Star Wars stuff.
I'm just waiting for his kid to be like, Dad, I think the dialogue's a little wooden in this movie. Can we watch something else? We've been watching Star Wars for 20 years now.
That's when I pick him up and kick him in his garage.
I would be terrified if I was a kid that young, and I saw the scene with Anakin killing all the younglings and just being like,
look, Marcus, don't be like this. But there was a man that was worse than him. His name was Hitler. No, I mean
his name was George Lucas. Was his name? So
for creating that scene, absolutely. No, I mean he's definitely going to be a big Star Wars fan. I mean, he has a bunch of Star Wars stuff now, Star Wars Legos. I mean, I made his mobile that then I goes over his crib out of like small Star Wars Lego. What do you call it? Ships. There you go. Like a small TIE fighter, small Millennium Falcon, small X-wing. So I made his mobile out of that with a motor. He has Star Wars blankets, Star Wars clothes. So I'm trying to wean him into Star Wars. I'd be really upset if he grows up and says like Star Trek more. Obviously we're going to fight there.
And Battlestar Galactica is what he's really going to be into.
Yeah, right. He's like really passionate about Battlestar Galactica. I think a Viper could take out an X-wing and be like, get the hell out of my house, all right?
Yeah,
Nonsense.
I definitely put him for adoption at that point.
At like 22 years old, like you're on the street, just get out. All right, so moving on from Star Wars again, and somehow we reverted back. I like that, like the new trend on the ShockCast. It used to be we always go back and make fun of Ubisoft for whatever reason.
Or
now it's been either, and now it's like come back and make fun of the Order. But I like with the R's now, it's just always like a Star Wars tie-in for everything. It's like when David was writing for us, it always reverted to like a Star Trek, and everyone's kind of eye roll / yawn whenever he spoke about it.
David's my arch nemesis. I love the guy. He's my arch nemesis though.
In the movies now, he's a PD or an AP.
He's a production assistant.
Yeah, you go. Whatever that is. So
yeah.
He went Hollywood. Good for him. But yeah, moving on from Star Wars, guys. Charles Dance is going to be the Emperor of Nilfgaard.
You mean Tywin? You mean Tywin Lannister is the correct?
Yes, he would be playing Tywin Lannister.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we have the teaser on our site, and I'm a huge fan. So, and like, it's not like we're going to see him again in Game of Thrones. Spoilers, but. Yeah, good for him. He's got that very authoritative voice, and like, yeah, I like that delivery.
He definitely does.
I want him to tell me what to do, and I'm okay with that. And guys, guess what?
It's your birthday.
No, another Assassin's Creed game came out.
Oh my!
Wait! I'm sorry. I must have been sleeping under the bed for the past 2 months. It just came out, or
it's getting out. It's coming out. Oh no, it's out. It will be out.
Sorry. I mean, today's
the 22nd, right? Yes, it is
Yes.
out today. It is Assassin's Creed Chronicles China.
As somebody that is strongly against belittling any games, just games overall, because that's our goal, that's our mission to perpetuate the positiveness in games and how much you love them.
Sometimes you can't help it.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed is becoming a bit out of hand. I think it's getting a bit out of hand here already.
Assassin's Creed makes it really hard for us to stay positive about video games.
It's becoming the new diehard of video games. It started off good, and it's going to shit right now. It's just getting really bad.
But yes, Assassin's Creed Chronicles is out. Is a side-scrolling. It's actually a really nice-looking game. They changed up the art style a bit to kind of give this watercolory feel to it, and yeah, I mean, it looks neat. This might be the if you are going to bring back an Assassin's Creed, I don't mind it taking like these subtle little departures into, you know what, I will try side-scrolling Assassin's Creed. That might be worth looking at. I mean, I'll definitely do a joystick move George on it.
Or we can just appreciate new franchises, or older ones that people ignored.
But that too, at the end of the day, I believe it comes down to, oh look, Assassin's Creed still makes us money, even though the last one even though we released a broken one last time, and people still bought the hell out of it.
The one thing I will give Assassin's Creed is, at least because they can use like different settings and they can use different time periods and stuff, they can kind of reinvent themselves a little bit. Like obviously, like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is kind of like the perfect example of this, where Assassin's Creed 3 was pretty not liked very well at all, but Assassin's Creed 4 introduced a lot of new things. So I feel like Assassin's Creed, they can kind of get away with that a little bit more versus like Call of Duty, which like it kind of comes and goes. Like they do pretty much just kind of tend to do the same things over and over again.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I agree with that. I mean, that's what kind of separates a game like Assassin's Creed from a game like Call of Duty. Is the fact, like you said, there are different environments, so different climates that you can actually introduce a player to. At the same time, I think there definitely is, or there should be a focus on other franchises. It just feels like, from last generation to this generation, and I'm not knocking gaming in general, but it just feels like there's a repetitiveness of what we're seeing. And if you look back to the eras before PS3, it was extremely competitive in terms of what was being released, and also very unique and refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue is that the game, just game development has become so much more expensive that, like, taking a risk could bankrupt you. So it's like, you know what, we need to go with a sure thing, or for something, if we're going to go with a new IP, we need to market, we need to test market this to hell and make sure that this is going to sell us 10 billion copies, because if not, it's not worth it. Like
that's you're absolutely right. I mean, that's what happened with THQ. That's what happened with the people that made Kingdoms of Amalur. Can't pronounce the last name, but they put a lot of money onto this game, and it was a great game. It just didn't sell as they expected, and they ended up going bankrupt and having to close shop.
Yeah, and I have a funny Kingdoms of Amalur story. So when the game was coming out, like a couple of weeks prior, the guys from what was the name of that studio again? It was Kurt Schilling's studio, I forget. 41 game.
I'm looking it up.
I think it was like 41 Studios or something like that.
Yeah. So they invited a bunch of journalists out.
38 Studios.
38 Studios. So their PR guy took us all out to. He took a bunch of journalists out to dinner with the developers, and he took us the Capitol Grill. It's one of those places in New York where the menu doesn't have prices. And they literally said, "Oh, guys, just get whatever you want." And we just hung out and talked about the game for a bit and all that. And I remember just going to another journalist, and I was like, "This is how much do you think this dinner was?" And he was like, "Oh, easily $1,200 for for 6-7 people." And then as the weeks came out and they bankrupt, I would every once in a while I would just message that person and just be like, maybe they should spend so much money on dinners and maybe oh my god, but wow, and I guess I'm trying to maybe is that maybe in the marketing budget where it's just just meet and greets and just kind of hanging out with do you expense just hanging out with journalists? I always wonder what you put that in the expense report.
That'd be a tax write-off, I think. Do
you think so?
Yeah, it's business, so to speak. So I believe they can use that as a tax write-off. But either way, it's like you said, just going back to it, video game development, it is becoming super expensive, and I do agree that the reason people are just consistently focusing on franchises that succeed is because they can rely on that franchise specifically.
Yeah,
but it kind of also takes away from us being gamers and experiencing new storylines, and because to me gaming is like a book kind of, except it's visual. You're jumping into an adventure. You're walking through the entire adventure. You're going through the entire adventure, and you go into an end. Yeah,
but I feel like that's kind of what the indie space is for now. It's kind of filling that void of the creativity and the new stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I'm with you. Where I feel like I wish that they put the AAA money behind really new, fresh ideas. But like I said, as much as we make fun of Ubisoft, they take chances. The Crew was a brand new IP. It just didn't work out. To me, it was just not a good game. But I applaud them for just trying something new. But like I said, that's the risk. That game probably cost them some money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree 100%.
So, but yeah, good. Charles Dance, I hope. Oh, wait, are we still talking about? What are we talking about? Assassin's Creed. All right.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I just want to say I hate Capcom. Just want to say that. I don't hate Capcom. I don't hate you, Capcom. I love you guys, but come on, Mega Man, bro. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave that.
Sorry for that random rant.
Yeah, that was weird, but we could talk about Capcom for days. I really do not. I do not mind it, but Capcom, they're in trouble. And I don't think Mega Man can save them.
No.
There are some bad decisions going on.
Now with Mighty Number 9, I think it's called, coming out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that game. But yeah, sorry about that rant, guys, about Capcom. I apologize.
No worries. That's why you're here. The non-sequitur is all day, baby. Ryan, I know you're a big Heroes of the Storm fan.
Not really, no, not at all.
Oh, but and you ruined my segue, you jerk. Just
sorry,
say yes.
It was yes, I love it because I've played a MOBA before, which I've never done, but okay.
You know what? Now I don't even care. Heroes of the Storm got a release date. It is a MOBA by Blizzard Entertainment, the fine people who brought you StarCraft and World of Warcraft. Has a release date, so June 2nd. It's coming out of beta. The game exists.
Oh wow, that's sooner than I expected.
Yeah, this game's been in beta for God knows how long. My brother actually got me into the beta. He bought me the version for my birthday, and I got into it. And I'm not into MOBAs, and this is a nice. I don't know. I guess if you're a filthy casual, this is a great MOBA to jump into because it doesn't have a shop.
It's a good introductory MOBA from
yeah.
God! I'm assuming Ryan's one of those hardcore league players or
no. I've never played MOBAs before. I don't play them, but I know from speaking with friends of mine that are really into League and Dota and that have tried Heroes of the Storm, they say that it is it has an easier learning curve, I think, to get into rather than
it's the baby game for babies.
Yeah,
well, Dota people look at it and laugh. It's
to be fair, we have to credit Blizzard for doing that because Blizzard's actually really good at doing that.
Because
they introduce newbies into a game, but they also know how to cater to the experts and hardcore crowd.
Yeah, I mean, like Hearthstone, I feel like is like the perfect example of that.
Mostly.
Yeah, like Hearthstone is like a great example of that because like I adore Hearthstone, I think it's awesome. But like that game, like the first time I tried it, I was like a little intimidated, but like it took me 5 minutes to learn how to play that game, and it's great. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and like how often, I don't think you're a huge CCG gamer either, right?
No, not really, but it's that game's still addicting as hell, and it's really really easy to pick up.
Yeah, and to me that makes someone like I wish the people who make like Magic the Gathering would like take a look at how like what made Hearthstone so successful.
Hearthstone is a lot like Magic the Gathering.
It is, yeah.
But the way they make it is just way more approachable, and it's like, oh, I know how to. 5-10 minutes later, I know how to play. I haven't mastered the game. That might take me some time, but at least I know what I'm doing, or at least what my objective is to get done. So,
exactly, I agree.
It's like I could not introduce a new player to Magic outside of saying like, okay, do you have 6 hours so I can sit you down? First, I'm going to give you this almanac so you know what kind of what deck we're dealing with and what universe we're in. It's like no, like this one, if you got 5 minutes, you can go and like, oh, okay, go look, I'm making my card attack his card, and I'm tapping on the screen to say goodbye or get out or some nonsense. That's my favorite part about Hearthstone is doing the little emotes on there.
Yeah, it's a great game, and I'm actually quite happy they released it on mobile now.
Oh yeah, I'm playing it on my iPhone.
Yeah, I've been playing it on my iPhone too.
It is fantastic.
It is correct.
And Ryan, I know that you're such a huge Warhammer fan.
Not really. No, I'm sorry.
Wait, guys, wait. Ryan, did you just say you don't like Warhammer?
No. I never played it before. I'm not saying I don't like it.
He's a 40K fan, all right? You know those.
I probably would have gone with 40K over Warhammer, but I'm not saying I don't like it.
I agree. I'm more of a 40K fan myself too. But come on, the Warhammer universe itself is pretty good.
Brutal and insane, and pretty much made for crazy people.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, there's a new Total War game coming out, and it's Total War Warhammer. Which
I think that's pretty cool. So
I think they screwed up the title. I think Alex Navarro from Giant Bomb said it best. They should have just called it Total Warhammer.
They should have.
An opportunity like that would have been great.
Perfect. Total Warhammer. Killed it. Yeah.
Total War Warhammer. They did a teaser trailer today, cinematic, so you don't really know what the gameplay will be like. But if you've played a Total War game, you can kind of guesstimate what the game will be like. And I'm going to assume it's going to be a lot of orcs and magic and flying dragons and griffins and stuff. But yeah, maybe go against some Chaos Knights and fight some Chaos Gods. I'm looking forward to it. I always like the Total War games. It's one of those games that like I always buy them when they come out, but I don't think I actually really play them.
What?
Like they're always on Steam for like $6-7. Every once in a while, like Steam will do those sales, and it's like get the Total War Complete Edition for like $8. I'm like, I'm in. And then I would do it. I'm like, oh right, I forget these games are like a lot of work. Like it's essentially you're playing Civ 5, except the battles are just blown up more. So like I forget that there's a whole like management system to it that I'm just like, oh, I don't want any part of this. But oh man, I was a Total War I was a Total War Shogun fan. I will say that much at least.
Shogun,
yeah, that was with the
samurai. I remember the game. I remember the game.
That was, you had your flame archers there, and to be fair, I was only a fan of Shogun because that was the only Total War game I could run on my PC for like the longest time.
That's sad. I'm sorry, George.
I know it happens. I can run it now. All right, I'm an adult now. I can do things.
I was there at 1.2. Don't worry. I mean, we were all there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, look, I remember being a kid and having the power supply blow out on my computer, and no, the fan failed out on my computer, and I had no money, so I literally just opened up the side of it and just stole one of my mom's like personal fans, like that big, like a table fan, and I just shoved it into the.
That is by far the most ghetto thing I've ever heard in my life. It's actually the most intuitive.
And that's how I was able to play Diablo 2 for most of the summer.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good time. And then I figured it out was a heat problem because because my thing would just shut down completely, and when it did, I looked like, oh wait, I didn't turn the fan on, so I had to go and like turn on the fan, and it's like, oh. It was my room was probably a fire hazard because the way I had things open and just laid about, like, oh, it was super dumb. Oh, man.
That's funny. I never thought about that. It's funny.
Hey. Stuff gets hot, and you got to cool it down, obviously. And finally, in news, there's a new update for Halo Master Chief Collection. I occasionally play it. It works, I think. Now. It works mostly now.
Mostly.
So 4 months later, yay, it works. I'm not happy that it took 4 months later, but it works. So okay, great. Good on you, 343 for fixing the game.
I was a competitive Halo player at one point, and I don't know. I mean, it's not just Halo. I think it's just first-person shooters in general this generation are not doing it for me. I don't know.
What is it? Is it more like the traversal stuff? Like, you know, now that the new Halos, you can like climb on things and like.
I honestly don't know. I think honestly, at least at this juncture, I think I'm just a little burnt out with first-person shooters.
That's fair.
I'm jumping more into a lot of RPGs and third-person games. I mean, like I told Ryan, me and Ryan, we go back and forth a lot on Slack, but The Witcher, I mean, that's a classic, awesome game. Yeah. And Ryan is here still debating whether or not you should play it, and you should, Ryan.
I will. I'm finishing Bloodborne.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Take up all my time. All right.
You can always go back to Bloodborne. I can tell you what happens. He doesn't turn into a werewolf, so who cares? So you're
Spoiler
good.
alert. No, but I was going to say what Yaris is saying about first, because actually, in the 360 generation, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, Halo, and all that.
Yeah, same.
I think the thing is just that there isn't as big a generational leap, because you look at games like Halo 3 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and those were revolutionary games. Those were ones that completely changed how online worked for that generation.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel like games like Titanfall and even Advanced Warfare haven't really done the same thing. Like, it's mostly just elaborations on stuff we've already seen. So I think it's just when Modern Warfare the first one came out, that would completely change everything. And I was playing that nonstop when that first came out. So
and Yaris, as an older gamer such as ourselves, as I slowly approach,
oh my God.
as I slowly approach 30, do you find that do you care? Because I end up caring less about competitive multiplayer. I mean, I like that it's there, but I think I gear more now towards co-op. If I was a kid, I want to go online and murder as many dudes as possible and talk so much trash on my headset. And I think now as a grown-up, I'm like, I don't have the energy to yell at a toy.
I think that's one thing that I can easily say I used to pride myself on is how well I used to talk trash. Joel and I used to sit up to 4 o'clock in the morning playing Modern Warfare for the PS3, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as right now as an adult, it's not to say that I don't enjoy multiplayer per se, but I don't know. I do find myself leaning more towards a co-op game. I think it's because I'm just not enjoying the trash talking. Not that I'm not doing it, but there's just the ambiance. It's completely different now.
There was an art to trash talking on Xbox Live that was just perfect and beautiful, and you would sit there and just my brother was an excellent trash talker, and I would just sit there on just hours just kind of listening.
Oh yeah, no, I used to make little kids cry.
Yeah, I'm like,
grown men scream at me. You could Joel attest to that. I mean, I used to really make people angry. But I mean,
you made that adult cry,
Yeah, I used to get people pissed off. People I used to hear them slam their controls. Okay, well, in this lobby.
I feel like private chat killed party chat more or less killed trash talking, because it was well, I could just talk to my friends and not hear some random asshole call me names. If you give me the choice, I'm just gonna talk to Ryan.
Or 12-year-old kids, that are just
calling me a homo. It's you know what? I don't. I worked all day. I don't need anyone calling me a homo for the next 12 hours. No,
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just it just goes back to the repetitiveness of just multiplayer. I mean, it is fun, but it just gets to a point where it's just okay, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. Where co-op, you're enjoying the experience with a good friend. You're going through the story. Some things change, some things don't, depending on the game, and I don't know. I just find myself just want to relax. It sounds like an old man. Jesus Christ.
We're doing a separate pod. I want an over 30 podcast.
No, that'd be horrible. Well, actually, I'd actually quite enjoy that, to be honest with you, because we can go over Super Nintendo games and.
Yeah, I'm running good times. I always want to do a live show of just us old ass dudes just playing Genesis games, just be oh man, remember this was. But yeah,
let's do it.
Play all the Disney Genesis games. Do those.
They were so good. Lion King,
DuckTales.
Awesome.
No, not DuckTales. I mean Lion King and Aladdin. All the Genesis games. Yeah.
Oh, Aladdin. Oh my gosh, I remember that game.
Yeah, they were good.
But what was it? Oh yeah, but back to Halo Collection. The reason I mentioned it is that they were hinting that the re-release of Halo 3 ODST will actually be coming out next month.
Which would be pretty cool. Halo 3 ODST is probably one of my favorites. It's a really good game.
I think from a narrative standpoint, that is my favorite Halo because
Yeah, I have to agree there.
Absolutely.
It's so different. Yeah.
It told the tightest story where it's just like, you're just you're just a squad of dudes and you just want to leave this goddamn city because it's blowing up. And I'm like, you know what? That's perfect. That's all I need. I don't need this like, oh no. You need to go into the edge of the universe and save all life.
Yeah, it was different because it was more like a Call of Duty or Battlefield approach where you're just kind of like you're just a guy. You're not like Master Chief. You're not this like savior of the universe. You're just like a regular dude. And I thought that was kind of cool to see the Halo games from that standpoint.
It felt like a more personal game because, like I said, saving the universe is such a like generic kind of save the universe from the ancient aliens, y'all. Like, all right,
you had Nathan Fillion, so it was also good as well.
There you go. There you go. That's what I have to say, Nathan Fillion.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's a man. I love him.
All right, and then since we were running long, let's go into what we've been playing. Ryan, what have you been playing?
So I've been I'm getting close to the end of Bloodborne. I've got like a couple more bosses, but
Ryan.
I know. Well, I'll get to The Witcher. But no, I'm gonna probably finish Bloodborne this weekend, hopefully, and then I just picked up Shovel Knight, so I'm gonna be probably playing that, and then yes, I will get to The Witcher Yaris. I will get to it. So it's like.
Just forget about every other game. Finish Bloodborne. Forget about everything else and just play The Witcher. I mean, The Witcher 3 comes out in a couple of weeks. I think 2 or 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I'll just quit work and I'll just play Witcher 1 and 2 for
Take all your vacation right now.
4 weeks straight. I need it for E3 though. Like.
Okay, then call in sick for a month.
Ryan, are you still heavily into Bloodborne? Like, has its appeal lasted on you, or?
No, I'm still pretty into it. Like, I've been doing, like, it hasn't been beating my ass as much as I thought it would, which is a good and bad thing, I guess.
I was gonna mention that to you. There was a part, like, especially, like, with the Vicar Emilia, like, the lady fight in the church. Like, that was... But then after, I'm just kind of, like, it's been kind of smooth sailing for me. Like,
Yeah, I feel like most of the time I've been doing well. Like, sometimes I've hit walls, but I feel like that's kind of the game's way of telling you, like, you're not leveled up enough yet. So normally if that happened, I would just go level up for a while and grind and then come back and it would usually...
It does feel like a game of like very long valleys and like so few peaks now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's just like, oh, I'm just kind of steamrolling through. And then like now I'm like, I get all these souls and I level up. So now I feel like I'm kind of over leveled for certain areas. Like I went against the Witches of Witches of East.
The Witches. No, that's a Disney show. It was like
that's a TV show.
The Witches of
I killed them too.
The Witches of Hemwick.
That's quite sad that you actually know that, Ryan. That's quite embarrassing.
Yeah. I'm just gonna smooth past that, but yeah, I killed them like not. I killed them like not even like paying attention. Like I was kind of distracted. And I was just kind of like.
They're they're probably the easiest boss fight in the entire game. So that's not that big a deal. But yeah, no, there have been a couple most boss fights I've finished in like 2 or 3 tries. There was like 1 or 2 that might have taken me a couple more. But yeah, no, I really want to finish the game. I'm trying because I finished all like the main bosses, and now I'm going back to some of the optional areas and doing a couple like the side bosses and things. So I can get like.
It's gonna take so long, Ryan. My gosh.
Just give it up, Ryan. Doesn't matter.
What the hell?
Yeah, because the Witcher is only like a 10-hour game. It's not going to be that long.
Hey,
so,
it's really not. But
they said it could be 25 to 300 hours, depending on which is the most annoying PR speak for an RPG. It's like, oh, it's whatever you want it to be. Like, no, just give if I want to run, just give me. No.
You can finish it over like 2 weekends, or you can finish it over like 4 years. I mean,
yeah, give me that. Like,
it's all gameplay.
Yeah, it's like when you read, it's like, oh no, dude, we're doing about like 25 hours of gameplay. And it's like, oh yeah, if you sit there and stare at the ceiling and like don't run, sure, but no, just like let's be real, like yeah, if you want to collect all the feathers in GTA, yeah, that'll take you hundreds of hours. Like no, dude, that's not what I'm playing GTA for. Collect goddamn pigeon feathers. Yaris, what are you playing?
Oh, what am I not playing? Funny enough, I'm not playing anything on consoles right now. I've been really focused on playing PC games. As of right now, I'm replaying the Witcher series. I'm playing the Old Republic. Yes, I know we just had a little rant about how horrible the game is. I don't think
the MMO or
the MMO, yeah.
Oh, hey! My guilty, dirty little secret is I still play the MMO, man. I've got a couple of.
I honestly, I went back to it and I started a level 1 character, and I must say. It is an amazing
storyline. The storyline's really good. I like what they changes that they made with the skill system, where they kind of War of the Warcraft's new skill progression, where it's just like instead of giving you like a bunch of skill trees, it's like, look, here, you're level 10. This is what you should have at level 10.
Exactly.
Don't even worry about it. Like I'm totally good with that. I always go back when they do a double EXP weekend and just run through like kind of like a newbie character.
It's an amazing MMO, and I'm quite sad that it doesn't have the base that games like World of Warcraft have. A lot of it has, in my opinion, has to do with, I think they're a little lazy with the releases. I mean, considering how vast the Star Wars universe is, you'd kind of figure that they'd have a little bit of more consistent releases in terms of content. And that's
there is a drop off at like and there's like almost no endgame content.
Yeah, endgame is absolutely horrible.
Outside of just grinding rep for just random gear that kind of looks like the gear you had earlier, but it's purple. Like I don't.
Yeah, it gets end game is pretty sad, but I think the overall experience from start to last is pretty good.
Yaris, it sounds like we have a new feature idea. Yaris and George take over the galaxy in Knights of the Old Republic.
Let's do it. I'll create another level 1 character. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, let's make some Sith and just kind of like kill some Jedi scum. That works.
Just kill everything in our path. Aside from that, I'm also playing after Ryan's little rant. I think it was last week. Just Giuseppe tried to completely obliterate because he hates Valve. I started playing Half-Life 2 again.
Okay.
And I forgot how great. Not that I forgot how great the game was, but when you start playing it again, you just get sucked into the story in the game.
Yeah, it's very ahead of its time.
I feel like that game is really timeless. It's just like, because every time I go back to that game, especially because it's so there's and detailed. Like there's always these little things that you still find, like no matter like the G-Man like randomly showing up in different places, and like there's just so much stuff like packed in that game. It's like that's always like a game like that. Whenever I got a new computer, I'd always go back and play that game because I always wanted to see, like, not only because like, my computer could probably run it, like, like with like 400 FPS at this point, but like, just to see all those little things that I might have missed, like from the.
But and the funny thing that it is though, it's like it is a timeless game, but it's a timeless game in terms visually, to me at least, because it still looks really good. I mean, considering how old the game is.
Yeah, I mean, even though obviously like graphically it doesn't look that good, that game has such strong art direction and design.
Exactly.
Like it's like City 17 still looks like really good. It's still like a great place, and because so many other games like Dishonored and games like that have obviously like not cribbed or just been inspired by that game like so much over the last couple of years. So.
Yeah, it's an amazing game, and I'm actually quite disappointed that nothing's been. I hate Gabe Newell. I really do hate his guts. Not to the point I want to die. I mean, he's.
I mean, you could try to kill him, but the man has a lot of knives.
I don't get why he hasn't. Nothing's been announced for Half-Life 3. I mean, it's literally been over a decade already.
Because they don't have to. That's the beauty of it.
That's so stupid to me.
No, they don't.
But outside of that, I don't want to get into this tangent. Outside of that, Half-Life, I am also playing StarCraft 2.
Okay.
Going through that as well.
Wings of Liberty and the expansion?
I'm actually just finishing up Heart of the Storm.
Okay.
I mean, I'm playing a lot of PC games. I have a lot of console games I got to get back into. I have no idea how many games I downloaded for PS4 that I just have sitting there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm playing right now. Just old school games.
No.
Wow, that's sad.
No, it's good times, man. You stick with what's good. Or maybe it's just a commentary of what's out there now. It's like, I think I'm just go back and play Half-Life 2.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Me, I am trying to learn how to play Mortal Kombat X because it is a fine fighting game, but also highlights how bad I am. And also, like, I don't have that competitive. We were talking about that competitive kind of spirit. I just don't have it anymore. Where like I go online, I was just like, I'm just gonna block, and if you kill me, I'm calling it a day.
George, you could play a real fighting game like Smash Brothers, and
had it with you and your Smash Brothers. Get out of it. And hit the A button until the guy flies off the screen. So he goes. That's not a fighting game. Like no.
But you could pay $1 to do an easy fatality in Mortal Kombat. So
you don't pay $1, all right? You can get them for free, but if you wanted 30 of them, you can pay $5. Which is
but what game you don't have to do that in Smash Brothers.
you talk about nickel and diming, just like
Smash Brothers doesn't also have fatalities though.
That's true, and
brutalities. As final smashes.
They're dumb.
Oh, come on. You're not going to see Mario punch
But yeah, I mean,
Bowser's face off.
I actually really kind of like the single player, like the storyline, because it's about like the next generation of Mortal Kombat combatants. So it's like Cassie Cage and Kung Jung, and Takada, and like these are all like the sons and daughters of Mortal Kombat like alums. So it's like I love that this wasn't like, oh wow, so we really aren't focused on like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. They're in the
That's
game.
cool.
They do like their fun cameos, but it's about like these new like the combat kids.
I think
as, people are calling them online, which is kind of adorable.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, they did that like with Soul Calibur 5, I think, where they had like mostly it was like the kids of like the previous fighters. But I think that's cool that they're still like kind of like keeping all the stuff we expect from Mortal Kombat, but putting their own kind of twist on it. And I'm still excited. I still really want to see Predator and Jason, but they haven't come out yet. So
yeah, I know, which is a shame.
Yeah,
but I can't wait for people to use them to no end online. But
Yeah.
I mean, I really like it because this is the first time NetherRealms and all the Mortal Kombat that they've made that they actually kind of like moved on from the same 20-30 year Mortal Kombat story. So it's
Yeah.
like we're heading into new territory where like. Do I want to play a game that doesn't have Shao Kahn in it? That's weird. Like, and you were like, yeah, I do, because Shao Kahn was a fucking jerk. I can care less about him. But I really like it. Shinnok is in the game, which I hate. I just don't know why Shinnok has always rubbed me the wrong way. It's the really shitty Elder God and Quan Chi and those the bad guys I've never really liked.
Quan Chi, I hate his guts.
Right? I do. Like Quan Chi just comes with this smug look, and I just want to punch him in the face.
Ever since I played Sub-Zero Mythologies, I just hated him.
Sub-Zero Mythologies. I totally have been trying to track down a copy of that game so I can like do a joystick with George classic with it.
Good luck.
Because that is a
game.
bad game. And what else am I playing? And then I'm going into a little bit of Titan Souls for joystick with George.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That is a hard game. That is a hard game.
Yeah, I thought I almost picked it up yesterday, but I've heard it's really fun. I want to try it.
Yeah, but I've been playing a lot of Westerado, which is this kind of really cool Zelda-ish game that is a Western, and you can kill everyone in the game, and the game just kind of says, all right, just do what you got to do.
What's the name of the game?
Like, it's Westerado Double Barreled. I did a Joysticking with George episode on it.
I'm going to watch that.
It's a really cool. It's a gunslinging game. It's a game where you can talk to people and then just pull your gun out in the middle of the conversation, and they're like, "Whoa, you want to put that gun away?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "All right, then we're gonna throw down." And you get into shootouts in the middle, like in the middle of towns and stuff, and it's like, "Oh wait, did I just shoot a story character?" And they're like, "Yeah, you did."
That's awesome.
Move on.
That's awesome.
I accidentally shot my uncle, who was a quest giver. Because that was me testing. I was like, I wonder if I can shoot. And I was like, oh, okay. I shot him, and he died. And then his ghost came back up, and he goes, listen, I forgive you. You still got to look for the murderer of your family. This is where you should. I'm like, he did the Jedi ghost, and he was just guiding me through. And he was really he forgave me for shooting him in the face.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to check that game out. I can just shoot anybody.
Yeah, you literally can shoot and kill everyone in the game. And there's just no. That's it. I mean, and the game really only takes you about, like, if you run through it, probably like an hour, but it kind of varies. It could be 1 to 3 hours, and you can play as different characters. There's a co-op mode in there, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm playing a lot of that, and like you said, like it's when we went through earlier in the show, we went through like the list of games coming out. It's gonna be dry for a little while up until maybe up until Witcher. Perhaps, so it's a good time to catch up on like these cool little indie titles, which
and then spend 400 hours in The Witcher playing that. It was like
3 years. There you go.
Yeah. That's I can't wait. Like I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just like, oh.
I am one of those guys that just enjoys exploring the world, so I might take probably 250 hours to beat the game.
I might take 2.5 weeks off just to see. I'm gonna pretend to get like E. coli or something. And be like, nope, can't go to work. Must play video games. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it, guys. We ran long as usual.
Yep.
I want to thank Editor-in-Chief Yaris Gutierrez for showing up on the ShockCast.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I think the last time we did this was actually Halloween.
Yeah, for the Halloween episode. And
wow.
And real quick, we should congratulate our guest Jill, on that Halloween show, Jill Shar, who's a writer for Tom's Guys, now working at Bungie as a writer.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. So
that is excellent. Congratulations to her. Wow.
She's working on things that she can't tell me about, which is great. I bug her all the time. Like, hey, what you working on? I goes, oh, you're working on a new DLC for that? And she's like, shut up.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah,
Wow.
good on you. So yeah, I just say if you come on the ShockCast, you'll get your dream job. Just saying to people out there watching. Say, it's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence.
I'll make note of that.
Not a coincidence. And again, Ryan Meister, thank you so much for joining me.
No, thank you, George.
And me, George Jimenez. Thank you guys. Thank you, George.
Thank you, George. No, seriously, you're a great host, dude. You guys are amazing.
I am a host. I would leave it like that.
And George just makes fun of me, so there we go.
Well, it's good to have a third person on because I can just kind of like Ryan's just kind of like he catches less crap from me because I have to like
Watch yourself.
But yeah, we'll be sure to talk about more Star Wars next time and drag you in. And I'm gonna see if I can get Joel to come back on. I'm gonna rotate through the DualShockers staff and force them to come on every so often.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to start doing this a little more consistently moving forward. Obviously, yesterday when we're supposed to record, had a job situation with performance reviews, but yeah, I'm looking forward to.
Oh, don't worry. We missed on Sunday because Ryan decided to go be a professional guest on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Sorry, it was like.
I heard you. I saw the episode, like, upset, like, look at Ryan, they're laughing. That's probably him fucking over there. Fuck that guy.
Although, I have to say, I mean, I was laughing when they had a polar bear with a broken penis that was on the episode. I mean...
Oh, yeah, my gosh.
But yeah, hear Ryan laughing on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO. I'm promoting it as if you're the actual guest on the show.
Yes.
But... thank you guys for watching and listening, especially the people on SoundCloud. We're working on getting this on iTunes. Apparently iTunes, there's an issue with iTunes or something. We'll work that out. This will be it's an Inside Baseball Talk. We'll have a Yaris and see what the hell's going on. But again, thank you guys for watching. No T-shirt commercial this week because it's actually not on the site anymore. So
nope.
As much as I love doing that TeePublic commercial.
Sorry, George, for putting you through that.
It's okay. We'll find something else for me to plug because I love. Maybe Mad Cats or Pelican will love to buy advertising space.
Probably not. Not after listening to this podcast.
No, I'm sure Guitar Hero and Rock Band 4 will be fine games.
Oh, I'm assuming they will. Peripherals, however.
All right, well, guys, we're gonna call. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
That was us. Goodbye. We love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Masters of Terra Casa was not a bad game.
Okay.